So, one of the weirdest haunted houses I ever did was actually a haunted yoga studio in Costa Rica. I kid you not. I had a former student invite me to Costa Rica, and one of the things that she wanted me to do was take care of her yoga studio. She was running a hotel. And at the top of one of the areas of the hotel, it was an only cute little surf town. And at the top of one of the buildings was this, which should have been an absolutely gorgeous yoga studio. It was huge, it was wide, there were open walls with a beautiful ceiling, and it was overlooking the beach, and it should have been gorgeous. It should have been absolutely stunning. But when I went up there, nobody wanted to be there. First of all, and there, she's like, "Oh, we do classes, we do this, we do that" to the clients, but people would go up and come back down. Nobody wanted to be there. And as soon as I went up there, I could tell why. It was icky. I went up there and it was like, you suddenly felt like you were dirty, like there was like just gunk on you, and my body felt like it wanted to close down, and it was icky. So I redid my protection and stuff, and then she and I both turned on our clairvoyance, and we're like, what is going on with this space? And one of the things I noticed right away was all this sex energy, just sex everywhere. And I even saw spirits like having sex. And I'm like, first of all, First of all, I didn't know spirits had sex, but they were having sex, so I guess they did. And secondly, I was like, this is the ickiest sex energy I think I've ever had, seen, felt, whatever. And she was like, oh my God, you know what used to happen here is the person that ran the hotel before me used to have orgies up here. And I'm like, aha. Now I understand. So what happens in a space is everything is energy, right? Everything, the desk that's in front of me, the computer that's here, my body, the walls, the books, all of it is energy running at different rates of speed, right? And when something happens in a place repetitively, then that energy can soak into the environment. When there's a really big bam of energy that has a lot of emotional content to it, that energy can inform the environment. So so what had happened with this yoga studio is the orgies that this woman was throwing had seeped into the environment. And then what else had happened is a bunch of spirits that were stuck on sex pictures that had not completed some energy around sex when they were alive. They were just obsessed. They were obsessed with it. Had claimed this space for themselves and were continuing the whole orgy thing. Now, I know you're probably like, Kawena, how do spirits have sex? They don't have bodies. And the answer is, I don't know. I have no idea, but I saw it and she saw it. And the Tibetans in the Tibetan Book of the Dead have the closest thing I've ever seen. This helps so much with the haunted houses. They talk about different dimensions and different ways that spirits get stuck as they're trying to ascend to a higher level. And one of the ways they talk about is sex, is they can get stuck in a sex realm. So in our psychic clairvoyant language, we would call it stuck on a picture. So they're stuck on some sexual energy that they haven't gotten through. They're obsessed with it. And so they keep replaying that until they finally let that go and then can hopefully get to a different place. But so that's what was happening in this location. And there were so many of these spirits, so many. It was just really like a whole thing. So there's a couple things that can happen with different spaces when you're doing a house clearing or space clearing. And one of them is a dimensional overlay. So on one level, it just looks like a yoga studio. On another level, it looks like a yoga studio that's having an orgy. So what I do in a case like that, and it's always a case by case basis, but what I did in that case is I took that dimensional overlay and I moved it out to the beach, and then the whole space calmed down, and both Olivia and I were like, whew, that feels better. Like the icky, sexual, gooey, kind of slimy, you just felt like people were like trying to touch you. It was gross. So that all left. And then it felt, oh, this feels like a normal space again. And then out of the wall, basically this door opens and these two little woo-woo hippie kind of sex spirits like come in and they look totally shocked. Like, wait a minute, where did our place go? And we're like out to the beach. And so we move them over there and then we put up little signs all over, energetic signs saying if you're looking for the sex orgy, just go out to the dimensional. And then we created a little path so any other spirit that was trying to get there could get there. And then we just cleaned the space. So that was one of the most interesting clearings that I ever did. It was just absolutely phenomenal. Now, there's a couple things that can happen that you can encounter when you are doing a house clearing or a space clearing. So interdimensional realities are one of them. You can also encounter spirits that are just stuck. You can encounter groups of spirits that are stuck. You can encounter vortexes. You can encounter nature spirits or aliens. Sometimes people, very rarely, but sometimes people have done like black magic or sorcery in a space, and so that can happen. You can see that. Sometimes something traumatic happened and people left a little piece of themselves. So it almost looks like a loop, like a GIF or whatever you call it. Like you see that over and over again, just happening, that little moment. So that can sometimes be in a space. And another thing that can affect things is like running water under a location or ley lines. Those can also be affecting a space. So yeah, so that's haunted houses. There's not anything like what you see in Hollywood. Nothing like it. I've done so many of these and never have I seen any of the weird stuff that they're showing in Hollywood. Now, I know I have tools, my students have tools, so we know how to get rid of spirits, we know how to do all this. But because the spirits most of the time are just stuck, then as one of my students described it, he said it's a humanizing experience. It's really humanizing where you take this thing that you have been programmed to believe is so scary. And then when you get to look behind the curtain, like in Oz, I am the great Oz, and you pull back the curtain, it's just this little scared person. That's a lot of times what haunted houses are like. Now, yes, there are malicious spirits. I'm not going to pretend that there's not malicious spirits or stuff messing with other people. Yes, it can be like that. But more often than not, it's once you have tools to deal with this stuff. I like to tell my babies, my students, that it's more, oh, what's that movie? It's more like Monsters, Inc. You know how Monsters, Inc., they're like, oh, let's get together and let's scare them. Oh, we did a good job scaring them. Once you know what this stuff really is, then it comes off a lot more than that. And a lot of times, and again, that's even the malicious spirits. Most of them are not malicious. Most of them are just stuck little babies. Really little people that are hurt in some way and they're stuck. And sometimes they're legitimately like little kids, little babies. We did one, oh, sweet little kids. We were in a basement, different group of students, and we're doing a house clearing in a basement. And the owner of the house had said that there was just a lot of noise and a lot of chaos and a lot of stuff in the basement. And so when we all walked down there, the basement swooped back and you could see it was black. It was kind of a basement, but under the house, but there was this kind of black area and you saw these little kids like all hiding. They were all hiding in the shadows, all these little kid spirits. And so we had them come forward. It was like 20 little boys and they all had felt like they were naughty and that God wasn't going to like them, so they didn't want to go up to heaven because they had been programmed that they were bad. And little kids, they weren't bad. So they basically, and then they had all gathered around this male spirit who was older, I swear to God, it was like Oliver Twist, and the guy was like Fagin, and the kids were just these rowdy boys in Boys Town, kind of causing problems. So me and the students gave all the boys and the man a healing. We just healed all their feelings of being bad or being worthless or their fear that they weren't perfect Christians, so they couldn't go up to heaven or whatever. And usually when kids do this, when kids don't feel like they're good enough, a lot of times they're waiting for their parents, but a lot of times it's something really stupid. Oh, I broke my toy, or oh, I went to the river when I wasn't supposed to when I died. My mom is going to get mad at me. No, your mom was not going to get mad at you. She said, bad, which anyway, so we gave the kids healings and moved them on, had God attach to all of them and take them to where they were supposed to go. And so the students loved it, as I think I might have said this already, but if I didn't, then I love this quote. One of my students was like, oh, it's so humanizing. He's a psychotherapist, and he said, it's so humanizing because you just really see the humanity and the stuckness that can happen when we don't take care of ourselves on a energetic and spiritual and mental and emotional level. And I have learned so much from doing house clearings, so much on how to not get stuck on pictures, or how to just the ramifications of what can happen if you don't take care of yourself. So you see that, you're like, oh, this is what happens. That's a person who was stuck on achievement. So where in myself are these places where I'm stuck on achievement? Oh, let me clear that out. Oh, these are people that are stuck on sex pictures. Let me like find any sex pictures that are like controlling me. And then you release that. And every time you heal or clear or help somebody, you can always find those elements within yourself and help clear them so that you're not ever in a sort of similar situation. So anyway, that's kind of a side note, but that brief or in long or whatever is my my story about clearing the yoga studio. So anyway, thank you for visiting this site. And my name is Kawena Charlot. I am the director of the Intuitive Path Academy. I teach all things psychic. I have short programs, long programs, and I also do readings and healings. If you like this content or this story or whatever, feel free to like and subscribe or ring bells or do whatever you're gonna do. And thank you so much for watching the video. Bye-bye.